grew up in Chicago, second oldest of 6 children, 4 boys, 2 girls. My mom was the heart of the family, and she held down the fort while Dad, he worked 2 jobs to support us. During the day, he was a grade school teacher. They didn't pay much in the 50s. The other job he had was at night in a print shop. He was a printer for greeting cards. He instilled in all of us a big desire to achieve, and all of us, amid many struggles along the way, have been successful in our paths. For me personally, Dad was amazing. He was a fighter for social justice, and he was curious about the world. In fact, that influenced me greatly. And now a lot of relatives often say I'm a chip off the old block. Well, I was so excited, we all were, when Dad finally retired. Now was the chance for him and my mother to have more fun and relaxation, well deserved. Unfortunately, my mother was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and she died just about a year and a half later. Months after the funeral, I flew back to Chicago. I was living in Arizona. Dad was lonely, deeply grieving, writing her letters every night about his day. And we were concerned about him. I said, Dad, how about moving to Arizona? After all, my 2 brothers and me were living there, and we could take care of him and be social with him. He said, whoa, I don't know. But he slept on it for a few days and decided to do that. He was a risk taker. Well, the only thing is this was not going to be an easy move. You see, being a teacher, and in the 50s, without a computer and digital resources, Dad collected books, magazines, articles, to the tune of 110 boxes in our attic. I said, Dad, we're going to get you a 1-bedroom. There's no way you can take these. Well, for the weeks ahead, he did good. He trimmed it down to 40 boxes. So here I am, fast forward 12 years later, I'm sitting in his bedroom, looking at these 40, even more boxes, floor to ceiling, wall to wall. I said, Dad, do you even know what's in these boxes? He said, not exactly. I said, Dad, where are your important papers? Like your insurance papers, Social Security, birth certificate, things like that. He said, well, Susan, they're somewhere in those boxes. I thought, oh my gosh, when he goes, how are we going to handle knowing what's important, what to do? And then an idea occurred. I said, Dad, how about we have a fake death rehearsal? I said, you just flip through all those boxes, pull out anything you think is important, and put them in one place. And let's do it in 2 weeks if possible. And I didn't know how he'd take it, but he liked the idea. We picked a date and a time, and I said, I will take you to lunch if you do this. And we shook on the deal. Well, my dad had a lot of panache and enthusiasm, and he really got into this. Every day I'd come home from work to a new phone message. First day, beep! Hi, Susan. Guess what? I went to the doctor today and he reviewed my blood tests. He said, I only have 2 weeks to live. Next day, beep, woke up feeling tired and a bit weak. I think I'm deteriorating rapidly. Well, you get the idea. This kept going every day, more creative, more dramatic. And then came the day of our dress rehearsal. By now, I was infected with his enthusiasm. I wore black pants, a black top, and I had a bouquet of his favorite red carnations. I go to his door, knocking on it, no answer. Oh, that's strange, he knew I was coming. I open the doorknob and it only opens maybe about that much. I'm thinking, what's going on? I stick my hand in there. There was a chair against the knob and I pushed it off. I walk in, no Dad. But my eyes did notice his long dining room table because there were papers on it. I walk up to there, and I look at the first paper. It's a multiple choice question. Susan, do you know what to do next? A, call the police. B, call the apartment manager. C, call your older brother. Then I look at the next paper. It's a picture of him with a little obituary written. Okay, next is a brief goodbye letter. Goodbye, world. I did my best. I had a good life. I'll see you all in heaven. Followed by 2 more pages of very neatly printed lines with places to call. Veterans Association, Social Security. Before each line was a little box so I could check it off after I called. And then there it was, one of those white legal boxes. It had in the middle, in bold letters, critical box. He had taken a lot of magic colored markers and just designed the whole thing. And I'm like, yay, Dad! All right, Dad? I was starting to get worried. I thought, did he fall? Is he in some kind of danger? I right away go to his shower, no Dad. I slide open his closet door and whoa, there's a whole big pile of laundry. I thought, I have got to come back and help Dad get a handle on that. I didn't know what to do. I'm looking even under the bed and out the window. I call my sister, she doesn't know what to do. My 2 brothers are busy working. 15 minutes passed, and I was so frustrated, I just plopped on the couch, threw up my arms, and said, I give up, Dad. Soon, I heard the sliding closet door open. Into the living room, Dad comes with disheveled hair and crumpled clothes. I said, where the hell were you? He says, I was under that pile of clothes. I said, why? He said, well, I wanted to give you the full impact of me being gone. And I must say, for a few minutes, I really did feel the loss, the absence of him, and it made me sad. Well, Dad went on to live many years, about 12 years after that. I moved into Leisure Village here in Camarillo because I had another brother and we both took care of him, and we went through surgeries and his late onset of diabetes and so much pain and other things. But he kept that positive attitude. He played his violin, he read books, he still went for the gusto. I now have, when he died at the age of 90, actually we had a birthday party for him with residents in his neighborhood. And after the birthday party, he said to my brother and I, 90 is enough. And 2 weeks later, he died. And as we were going through that critical box with my brothers and sisters who were so grateful to me, I couldn't help but chuckle amid my grief, thinking of how that box came to be. I now have my own critical box. I got emails and passwords and credit card info. I just want to say thank you, Dad, for all the great, memorable moments, for your love and support, corny jokes, and for that box.